Okay, here goes some real talk slash confession time. There was a time in my life when I thought I was self aware. I could name my emotions, I was reflective, and I would even journal every now and again. And then life started pushing on my blind spots pretty hard. I would get comments like, "You seem really intense," or "Why are you so difficult to talk to right now?" And honestly, I couldn't answer that. I thought that I was handling it, but I wasn't. I wasn't handling a darn thing because I was reacting. I wasn't responding to my emotions. And I really, at that point, I really didn't understand myself at all when I thought I did. That's when I started to realize that simply knowing my emotions, it wasn't enough. Just being able to name what emotion I was feeling, it wasn't doing anything for me. I started to understand that knowing my emotions, yes, that's a step in the right direction, but knowing my emotions and being able to sit with them without judgment, without fear, without shame, and letting them be with me, that was the skill. That was where the power lies, or that is where the power lies. That, my friends, that is the first step to emotional intelligence. Today, we're going to unpack what self awareness is and how to start building it like a muscle, not just a mindset. You got to be able to do something about it, not just think about it. Welcome back to the EQ Classroom. My name is Susan. I am your host to this channel. Anything and everything emotional intelligence, leadership, personal development, and overall well being. So, what is self awareness? What is it? I mean, I have an idea as being self aware, duh. It actually does go a little bit deeper than just being self aware. You have to be able to identify what is beneath the surface, not just I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. You have to be able to identify why those emotions are there. Self awareness is noticing that tightness in your chest when you receive that vague email from your boss and something is triggered in you. Why does my boss's email make me feel uneasy? If you had no idea of self awareness, you would just go about your business and that's it. That's what happened. No big deal. If you are learning about your self awareness, you would ask yourself some questions when you notice that unfamiliar emotion start to creep in. You would ask yourself perhaps three questions. What is this emotion that I'm feeling? Where is this emotion coming from? And what story am I telling myself right now? I remember conversations from my past, and these were before I knew much or anything about emotional intelligence. Back in the day when my emotions controlled my life. And some of those comments went something like this. And maybe you are hearing this today in your life or recently in your life, where someone tells you it's so hard to talk to you when you are upset because you shut down. Deuces, I'm out. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I lived there for years. That was my life. 4 years. Then I realized my initial reaction was to defend myself. I am processing it. That was my excuse. But I wasn't even doing that. I wasn't processing. I was intellectualizing my emotions. I could tell you, yes, I'm mad. Yes, I'm pissed. That was me identifying, that was me naming the emotion, but I wasn't taking ownership of it. I wasn't understanding my emotions. I was simply naming them from a safe distance. I was not experiencing them, and I certainly was not connecting with them. That is one of the key things that self awareness has taught me. Knowing my emotions is not enough. If you want real awareness, if you want true self awareness, you have to be able to, yes, name your emotions, but you also have to have the ability, and I would even say the courage, to be able to sit with your emotions without fear, without judgment, and just let them be. Emotions are a part of every human being, and they are neither good nor bad. They just are. I'm going to share three strategies that I personally used to start building my self-awareness. Now, what you choose, if and when you choose to start building this muscle of yours, this self awareness muscle, what you choose to use, the tools that you choose to use are going to be different, right? Because you're going to choose what is best for you, for your life, for your lifestyle, what fits best into your schedule, what is more appealing to you. So it might look different for you. I'm just sharing the three that helped me so that you have an idea of what this might look like. The three that I used were silent mornings, reflecting, and paying attention to my emotional triggers. So, the first one, silent mornings, as simple as it sounds. Take 5, 3, 2 minutes first thing in the morning when you wake up and dedicate that time to yourself only. Just you. No phone, no scrolling, no checking to see how many likes you picked up on IG or TikTok, no weather channel, no emails, no news, nothing. Just you in a moment of silence with yourself to give yourself the time that you need for you at the start of your day. And pay attention. If you do this, maybe I would say minimum 3, after 3 days, you might be able to notice the difference in your day. And you will see how just the simple act of checking in with yourself first thing in the morning in a quiet space, you check in with yourself to see what you've already got as you start your day. You will start to notice the improvement in your days. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. If you want to start with 2 minutes because you think it's an impossible task or a challenging task, start with 2 minutes and then increase your time. But really, you probably don't need more than 5 minutes a day. Silent mornings. The other activity I would do was reflecting and learning to label my emotions. I would journal. I had noticed that I would journal mostly in moments of clarity, right? Because that's easy. There's nothing disturbing our thoughts. There's nothing trying to hijack what we've got planned. We're able to pluck those thoughts easily and jot them down in our moments of clarity. And then I started noticing that I was also journaling when things were messy, in the middle of chaos, in the middle of emotional chaos. But what I also noticed, and as again, those of you that journal or have journaled and have experience with journaling in moments of emotional chaos, when you take those thoughts and those emotions and you just do like maybe you've heard this term, word vomit onto this paper, your emotional vomit, your emotional regurgitation, you put the words and your feelings and your thoughts onto paper. For some reason, clarity starts to set in, right? Because they're no longer taking up that space inside of our minds and our hearts. It also helped me become more familiar with the different emotions, the ranges of emotions that I would feel. And then I started to pay attention to my patterns of my triggers because there were patterns that I had not paid attention to. Let's say, for example, as a kid, I was always told that I was no good, right? That was my that's what I would hear as a child. You're no good. 30 years later, 40 years later, you end up at a new job. You've been at your new job for several weeks. And then again, here's this boss sending you an email, a vague email. You're not sure what it's about. Susan, can you please come to my office? I need to talk to you. Oh, Did I do something wrong? Right? So all of those things from my past, they start coming up. It had nothing to do with the boss's email. The boss don't know what happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're just sending an email. But my response to that email is attached to my experiences from 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. So when I started to pay attention to why do I act, why do I react this way when I hear this, it started to make sense to me. And when you have that self awareness and you're able to identify those patterns for yourself, you start to get better at being you. Now, developing self awareness, it didn't make me perfect. Perfect is never the goal. Excellence might be. It didn't make me calm 24/7. That's not how this works. What it did do, though, was give me the ability, give me the tools to be able to express and to articulate what I need. Think of it this way. Let's think about a toddler. I don't even know how old toddlers are. A child, 3, 4 years old. They don't have an expansive vocabulary. Maybe they're delayed in their speech. They can't tell you, Mom, Dad, I need to go to the bathroom. Mom, Dad, my stomach hurts. Can you please give me some food? Mom, Dad, I'm feeling afraid. They can't express these verbally. So what do? They cry, they misbehave, they throw tantrums because they cannot express what they need. And I found that self awareness, it did that for me. And I believe that it could do that for you. It's a tool and a great one. So here's my challenge to you. Spend 3 minutes today asking yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where in my body am I feeling it? Am I feeling some tension in my shoulders, in my neck? Is there something going on in my stomach, in my chest? Where am I feeling it? And third, what is this trying to tell me? Because remember, your emotions are your own personal messengers to let you know something's going on. Pay attention to them. And for any of you brave ones out there, leave a comment below. Let me know, what is one emotion that has been visiting you lately? I'll go first. The emotion that has been with me for some days now is frustration. Frustration because of the challenges that I'm trying to get through as I'm working through my doctoral program. And what I'm practicing is to Sit with that frustration instead of acting or reacting to it. Because what I've also learned from self awareness is that just because I see the emotion, I feel an emotion, it doesn't mean that I have to act on it every single time. I see you, frustration, but I recognize it. I acknowledge it. I sit with it. I know it exists, and it's okay. It's not going to disrupt my life because I am the one in control of that emotion. If this resonated with you, give it a like and please subscribe to this channel. And if you think that this might help someone else, please, by all means, share it with them. So remember, lead with heart, grow with purpose. I'll see you next time.